Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing DC League of Super Pets, directed by Jared Stern and starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, John Krasinski, Kate McKinnon, Vanessa Bayer and Diego Luna. Krypto is Superman's dog and is feeling slightly pushed out of the picture by the arrival of Lois Lane. So to help Krypto adjust, they look to help him make some friends with pets at the rescue centre before things go horribly awry. But before we go any further, could you please pay a little bit of YouTube rent? It doesn't cost you anything, just a wiggle of a finger, and it's part of your daily exercise. Please hit that like button and please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are just 3 subs away from my yearly target and I would really like to achieve that goal. So if you're feeling generous, please do hit that like button and the subscribe button, and we thank you very much if you do. And of course, before we start, I need to give some love and thanks to Frankie Boy for his participation in our intro there. Wasn't easy, but we got it done, didn't we, buddy? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So let's start with what I liked about the DC League of Super Pets. I really did enjoy the animation to this movie. It's bright, it's colourful, it's imaginative, and it feels like a fresh take. It was interesting to see the DC universe in this light. DC have always been quite good at animation, but it's always still been dark and gritty, whereas this felt much more in balance for the children. And personally, I think they handled that pretty well. I thought the humour was nicely balanced and it was very approachable, both verbally and physically. Of course, that humour is more aimed at children, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't laugh at least 3 times at the movie. Mostly when they were taking the mick out of themselves and how stupid the DC comic book superhero franchises can be. That was where I got most of my enjoyment. I also really liked the voice cast. I thought it was very varied in their choices, and they each felt like a good new take on these very well-known and established characters. I'm not Kevin Hart's biggest fan. I do think he is a funny comedian, but I don't think that necessarily translates to being a good, funny actor. What I did like about him in this movie was that it felt really dialed down compared to usual. There were moments where I was expecting an eye-rolling Kevin Hart joke, and actually, it wasn't a joke. It was just character building or part of the story. Thank you for changing it up a little bit. And I think a real big positive of this movie is that if you have pets at home or you're an animal lover, I think it's going to really strike a chord with you, and when you get home, yeah, you're going to be giving your little fur baby some love. I know I did. But sadly, that's when we start getting into the negatives of the movie. The plot is so unnecessarily convoluted. Talk about going the long way just to go down the road. And what's more annoying is that it's not reinventing the wheel or anything. It's a very generic storyline that you would see in any random sitcom, but a sitcom would do it in 30 minutes. This movie manages to stretch it out to 90. And because you've seen this storyline before, yeah, you've got it figured out the second it presents itself to you. It's incredibly predictable. I wasn't that crazy about the villains. I thought the voice cast was good of the villains, but the motivation was weak. And I also think that if you start to think too deeply about it, especially how kryptonite works, then you start to realise just how conveniently written this movie actually is. I wasn't really feeling the music in this movie either. I did appreciate that they tried to do something a bit more operatic and epic for it, which would fit superhero characters, but I just thought it tonally clashed when you've got that on one part of the movie, and another part of the movie you've got Taylor Swift playing. It's not even like the latest Taylor Swift song. It's like a Taylor Swift song from about 6 years ago. It just immediately felt dated. It didn't make me laugh. It just made me question whether or not that was the time period in which this scene was written, because it just seems a bit odd. And I don't know exactly when or where it happened, because the movie was always riding a fairly fine line of goofy, but that ending just jumps the shark and becomes insanely childish and making zero sense whatsoever. It really does just become explosions and things being thrown at the screen to try and be epic. But I will still give it the praise that the action was good in those scenes despite it being completely mental. I never had any issue in following the characters, where their positioning was compared to the others around them and the chaos that's happening. I saw the hits, I felt the hits. I thought it was very competently done, especially for an animated movie. But because it went too crazy and a bit too far gone at that point, my investment had waned at that point. I'm going to give DC League of Super Pets a 5 out of 10. This is fine. It's just dead slap dab middle of the road for me. I almost feel like this movie is the folding point in my list of movies of 2022. Any movies that are listed above it can range between okay to absolutely phenomenal, and any movies listed below it, well, let's just say they're significantly less enjoyable. I don't think the parents are going to get anything out of it, but I do think the kids will enjoy it, and ultimately that is who it's for. Thank you for watching this review. Please do hit that like button and the subscribe button, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen DC League of Super Pets? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.